But you know what? We want to end these topics on a happier note than
Yes.
that. I mean, Brendan Fraser's thing, that's great news.
It's already happy, yeah.
I know we've had some bad news, though, about Zaslav, and we've had some bad news about, Mahershala Ali and Blade and whatnot. But you know what's really great, Raul?
What is great, Kevin? What's great?
Let me tell you what's really great.
Tell me, Kevin.
Something that's been kind of making us happy throughout this episode. And let me just say, we've sneakily snuck it in. Little Ryan Reynolds action over here. We got Deadpool 3 confirmed to have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, baby.
Oh, yes.
Oh, snap, bro. What do we got written here?
All right. Well, looks like, we got this is coming from Collider. Reynolds took to his official Twitter page to give more than anyone would have possibly expected. A confirmation of the film's release date for September 6, 2024, and the announcement that Hugh Jackman will be returning to his beloved role as Wolverine.
And I will always love you.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, Ryan Reynolds posted a brief video on Twitter. Basically, it's just
and it was a glorious video.
It was great. It was a great. It's just him like talking about the development of Deadpool 3 and what he's working on and blah 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 blah. He didn't really give much details, but he was like, one thing I will tell you, right? He was basically, I will tell you this, and then as he's saying that, slowly a figure comes walking behind Ryan Reynolds across the room and just like starts walking upstairs, and it turns out the figure is none other than Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds is basically like, hey Hugh, would you like to come back and play Wolverine? I'm doing a terrible Ryan Reynolds.
That was beautiful.
He's like, hey, would you like to come back and play Wolverine one last time? And and then Hugh Jackman's just like slowly walking up the stairs and casually is like, yeah, sure, Ryan. And then it ends with Whitney. Yeah, over the Deadpool 3 logo. Deadpool 3 logo with the 3 claw marks across the
Deadpool
baby logo.
Deadpool 3.
And then I love the pun. I so appreciate the pun, coming hewn.
Man,
that just killed me right there.
So good.
Yeah, this is, I know we don't really do top stories on this show, but if we did that sort of thing,
this is our favorite one.
This would be our top story, right? This is the big one. This came out like a couple days ago, right? When Ryan Reynolds posted this. They also posted another video where they were like, basically, they're like, hey, you got questions, right? I have questions. You have questions. We all have questions.
Totally.
Well,
we got
here's the deal, and they basically address the fact that, Logan, they're like, oh, well, he died in Logan, right? And then basically Ryan Reynolds says that that's a standalone thing. We're not going to touch that.
We're not going to touch it.
And then they continue to go on and say, well, we also have other details, and they start talking. But
wake me up before you go.
You can't hear what those details are because you've got Wham's "Wake Me Up Before You Go" playing over them. It's just kind of a funny little thing.
So good.
And, it was more of a funny video than anything else. But we did get the little nugget of info that, of course, and we kind of all figure this, right? Logan has nothing to do with Wolverine's appearance in Deadpool 3. So it's kind of, even in fact, James Mangold, the director of Logan, has come out and said, he's already said, like, Logan, yeah, it's its own universe. So it doesn't even have anything to do with. So is this, that being the case, Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yes. I'd like to answer
is this Wolverine gonna be the Wolverine, the main Wolverine that we've seen in the main X-Men films, or is this a totally different Wolverine altogether?
I have been waiting for you to ask me this question for the past 30 hours, and I am ready to give you my response to this.
All right.
Here's what I think. Multiverse is a mess, right? So I think. All right, okay. Strap your seatbelts in, Raul.
Right,
this is what I got for you.
Here we go.
So here's how the story is going to start, right? We got Deadpool, end of Deadpool 2, right? He's got his time. I'm smiling so hard about this right now that my face hurts. It hurts from the smiling. So we got Deadpool at Deadpool 2, time machine, going back in time, doing different timeline stuff and changing stuff up. He goes back in time so often that he messes up the timeline. And so now he has to try to figure out how to fix the timeline again, which means he has to stop himself from killing baby Hitler. He has to stop himself from over-saving Vanessa. He has to do a million other things to make sure everything's okay. He has to prevent himself from dying after writing Green Lantern. And so In trying to do that, he accidentally jumps into a random timeline where Wolverine is still alive. So this is going to be a random Wolverine, okay, from the universe of the X-Men universe that we know and love, but just a random age where he hasn't met the X-Men yet, but he already has his adamantium metal stuff or whatever, right? All right, wait, stay with me here.
I like that.
Here's what else I got here. So he meets him, and he's like, "You bastard, because you died before I got the chance to hang out with you." He goes after him, starts trying to kill Wolverine. Wolverine starts trying to kill him back, and then in their fight, the two of them mess up the time warp watch, and they both get sent to another timeline.
This is very specific.
I've been thinking about this, Raul.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you have.
Now they get sent to another timeline, and then now it's going to be a buddy cop movie of the two of them having to figure out together how to get Wolverine back to his timeline.
This is a lot packed into one.
And so trying to do that, they got this annoyed, like they're butting heads with each other because they hate each other so much. But then by the end of the movie, what's going to happen is after all their turmoil and adventure, they find Wolverine and they get him back to his original timeline. And by the end, Deadpool's going to be like, you're a pretty all right guy. Like, I think you're pretty cool. And then he goes back to his own timeline. And then he gets sent to the MCU by accident. And he meets the new Wolverine. And he's like, oh, my God. All right, this is new. But okay, we'll see where this goes. So to answer your question, Raul. I think it's a different Wolverine.
All right, there we go. That's the answer. No, but you know what? You know what I do like about your theory is the whole Deadpool jumping around time, the timelines and screwing things up, because that's a great opportunity for them to explain why the main X-Men continuity is so messed up and all over the place. It's like you find out in Deadpool 3, it's actually revealed, well, the reason why nothing, the timeline in the X-Men movies doesn't make any sense is because Deadpool messed it all up. And that would be a brilliant way to explain that.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
That is beautiful.
I think that's great. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be a great way for them to kind of clean everything up and explain why the X-Men continuity's all messed up. It was Deadpool's fault.
One of my favorite things also is the fact that Kevin Feige and like the MCU team has basically told Ryan Reynolds and his writers, like, hey, do whatever you want with any of our characters and we'll greenlight it. Like, just go for it. You're Ryan Reynolds. Everybody will love it. So anything could happen. If he wanted to, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Reynolds decided to kill all the X-Men in these timelines. And I don't
know if they're going to do the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe or Deadpool kills the X-Men. I don't know if Kevin Feige would be too keen on a movie where Deadpool is killing a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of the main characters in the Marvel Cinematic.
Oh, but how glorious would that be?
It would be cool that they would adapt that story, but I don't know.
I think the only way that could happen is if he goes to a different universe or a different timeline where he's allowed to kill all those characters and then come back to the MCU, because obviously we don't want to see him kill Rhodey and Riri Williams and, all our characters that we already know and love at the moment, because they've got stories to tell, So send Deadpool into another universe, give him the opportunity to kill everybody. So now when he shows up to the MCU, it's like, bro, you don't know what to expect from this character. What an introduction to Deadpool entering the MCU. Like, I genuinely don't believe that he's going to be in the MCU until the end of Deadpool 3. That's what I think.
That could be the case. Honestly, look, as far as continuity and, what does this make sense with that? What version of Wolverine are we going to see? Are we going to see this? I don't care about any of those things, honestly, because it's a Deadpool movie. Because it's a Deadpool movie, any inconsistencies or whatever, I just give it a pass because it's a Deadpool movie and they could easily just write it off as a joke, some sort of self-referential thing like, hey, we're Disney now, we're changing everything up, whatever. I don't know. They'll just they'll just make a comment or a joke about it, and then we'll move on. That's why I don't take any of this stuff seriously when it comes to Deadpool. It's just like, whatever. They do whatever the hell they want. It's Deadpool. We all know it's Deadpool. We all know nothing makes sense and that they're going to make jokes about it, and we just move on. We get a mulligan. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think this is great. You know, I've got my Wolverine shirt on. I'm so excited. We're going to see Hugh Jackman come back one last time, or at least I think it will be, donning the claws. Yeah, this has to be his last one, right?
Well, do you think that that's his last time, or do you think he'll at least show up for Secret Wars? One last time.
Okay, I was thinking this would be the last one, but now you mentioned Secret Wars. I don't know. Maybe if he does show up, it's got to be very briefly, because I think he's done after this. I don't think he wants to play the character anymore after this. This is supposed to be his last time playing Wolverine, you know? Because now it's like we're going to give somebody else a chance to play Wolverine. It sounds like we're just, you know, when we get to X-Men, whenever the hell that's going to be, I don't know, Marvel. What are we doing with mutants? Let me know. Let the world know. Anyway, when we get to that eventually, I'm assuming it's going to be all new cast, different actors coming in to play these characters. So, you know, it's time for Hugh Jackman to pass the baton now.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's his goodbye for sure. But like, I think it's more of like finally doing a complete full circle with Deadpool, because Deadpool, since the beginning of his movies, has always had that inside joke about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that we'd never get the chance to see them interact with each other for real was really kind of a bummer. So it was nice to see that it is a trilogy of films, and the third movie ends the Fox universe basically and says that's it. This is the finale. We're transitioning into this thing, because this is the last thing everybody wanted, was Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds finally being in a project together. And it's directed by the guy who worked on Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And that's going to be so cool. Sean Levy, I think his name was.
Sean Levy, yep. Sean Levy.
I think that's going to be awesome.
Free Guy and The Adam Project, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Good movie.
I'm super stoked. I think this is fun. We're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine technically do a rematch, because we kind of saw them go head-to-head in X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is terrible. But
Imagine just the scene. Hugh Jackman gets knocked out by Wolverine, wakes up with his mouth sewn shut. And Deadpool's like, yeah, how do you like that, huh, buddy? Hey, Wolvie, come on, buddy. We're going to kill you.
Yeah. Ah! Doesn't feel so great on the other end, does it?
Then Wolverine pulls out one of his claws and kind of just cuts the strings out of his mouth and is like, I'll kill you. Like, I mean, come on.
That's disturbing.
That's also just so amazing, the fact that not only is it going to be disturbing, but it's going to be rated R, so we get a Wolverine that gets to swear just like in Logan, but now it's a comedic rated R with Hugh Jackman's
I want to hear Hugh Jackman's Wolverine drop all the F-bombs.
Oh, yes.
All the F-bombs.
And you know, based on even just the second video that Ryan and Hugh Jackman put together, that Hugh Jackman like claws Deadpool in the head and rips it out, and then Deadpool's like, oh.
There is a panel in the comics where Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting, and they essentially recreated the panel when they were kind of miming what they were doing as the music was playing. They were like miming like specifically a panel from the comics where he's got his claws in Deadpool's head, and then Deadpool's got the sword in Wolverine's head.
Good. And they're going to have to do something like that in the movie as well, because like that's
they're just fighting each other, and the fight lasts like 2 hours because they keep healing, and they're not getting. They're like, look, we're not getting anywhere with this. Can we just move on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know for a fact also that once Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool meets the next Wolverine, I'm assuming the next Wolverine's going to be like 5'2" or something like that. He's going to be much shorter, and Ryan Reynolds is like 6'2". Yeah. And he's going to look down and be like, oh my God, it's a mini Wolvie. Oh boy. Like there's going to be such awesome jokes.
Where
coming
are
from
your
both
parents?
Sides. Like, exactly. I don't see Kevin Hart anywhere. Like I think that could be so good. Ryan Reynolds, his marketing also is just freaking brilliant.
Oh, he's brilliant. Everything he puts out with his production company, Maximum Effort, from the aviation gin commercials to the Mint Mobile stuff to all his social media stuff to the Deadpool movies. I mean, it's just so great. I love his marketing, and I love following Ryan Reynolds on social media. He's like one of my favorite people to follow on social media. Everything he puts out is just it's just gold.
Also, I will say, I know in the D23 episode, we kind of complained a lot about, like, no Deadpool announcement? What is this? But after I saw the first announcement by Ryan Reynolds himself, I kind of prefer it that way. Like, it hit me how much more of an impact it had that he did it himself. And, like, it's not this big group activity thing. It's about Ryan Reynolds. Like, Ryan Reynolds is a superstar, man. Like, that man, he is not Benedict Cumberbatch. You know, he's not, like, this character that needs everybody around him to, like, help support him. He just does it himself and goes,
He is his own
boom.
brand. Ryan Reynolds is his own brand. And
also,
really quick,
I love Benedict Cumberbatch, by the way. No hate towards Benedict Cumberbatch.
We love you, Benedict.
We love you, Benedict.
Really quick, let me ask you something really quick, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Because D23, it was only like, what, a couple weeks ago? It was very recent. Do you think this is something that they were going to maybe announce at D23, but for whatever reason they didn't? I mean, why not just announce this then as opposed to now?
I bet you $1 million that Hugh Jackman just hadn't signed contracts yet.
You think that's what it was? Yeah.
That's gotta have been it.
It wasn't ready.
Like, I know I just said that whole thing about, like, he's a superstar. He should do it himself. Because really, the way he did it now, it worked out perfectly.
Oh, I love the way they
talking
announced
about
this.
it. It's such a hype thing to do, you know? Like, although I would have been just as hyped probably if he had done it at the end of D23, just to have that button to say this was worth it.
Because of the lack of big announcements that came out of D23, and, you know, we've already talked ad nauseum about our kind of somewhat disappointment with D23. I just wonder if this is something that maybe they could have announced at D23, but like you're saying, maybe they just didn't have it ready.
Man,
or what?
Raul, if I was Kevin Feige and I knew I had Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman locked in, I'd want to show that at D23. You would
think.
That is just such a no-brainer of how, like, if I know all we're going to do is just talk about all the trailers and movies that we've already seen and talked about, then it's like, how can I hype these people up? Oh, I got it. Rogers the Musical. Let's put that on stage. Like, that's what you could come up with to try to remedy not having Deadpool as an announcement. So, again, I think, going back to what we were saying, I think Hugh Jackman probably didn't sign contracts yet. And once he finally was able to just be like, okay, we have a deal and this is how much money I want to make, then they were like, okay, cool. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but there was like there's some random paparazzi guy that saw Hugh Jackman coming out of the gym like a day ago. And he was like, hey, Hugh, like, I'm so psyched for you, man. You're going to be a great Wolverine. And Hugh Jackman's just like, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And the paparazzi guy asks him, so what did Disney do to get you back? How did they convince you? And Hugh Jackman kind of got up close to the camera and he goes, like, hey, I make my own decisions, man. Like, that's it. And I just thought, like, man, what a cool dude. What a badass. He makes his own goddamn decisions.
He's only in this movie because he wants to be.
Yeah. So
I believe it. He loves being this character. Hugh Jackman loves being Wolverine.
And that's why there is a part of me that's like, you know, if I'm Hugh Jackman and I'm coming back again and I'm in my 50s, I want this much money before you bring me back. And then Kevin Feige goes, okay, but hey, D23 is about to happen. I don't care about D23. I want my money. And if you don't give me my money, I'm not signing anything yet. So if we got to skip D23, that's fine by me, man. You know who I am, Kevin Feige. I love you to death, but this is how much I require. I'm this old. Like,
I'm not too sure that maybe that's how it went
Maybe
down.
That's not how it happened.
I like to think Hugh Jackman is a more humble man than that, but...
Yeah.
But for sure, I'm sure they would have negotiated something, a really good amount of money for him, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, though. Either way, I'm excited. I want to see Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine. I can't wait to see him. Raul, one more question, and I swear to God we'll move right on. Is over under 50%...
over under? What are you doing?
Is Hugh Jackman gonna be in the yellow suit?
Oh, I hope so. At least for a brief second. Way over. Maybe way over 50%, because they're gonna have to make a callback to it. They're gonna have to reference it. Maybe he won't wear it for very long, but you know, it might be he'll wear it for a brief second and they'll make a joke about it, then he'll go change, right?
Yeah.
But they have to. How can they not? And I know they will. I'm so confident they're going to make Hugh Jackman. We will see him in the classic Wolverine outfit with the cowl and everything, the yellow outfit. We are going to see that. I'm making that prediction.
Okay,
we will see that.
You know, you just prompted me to ask you one last question. I swear we're going to move on.
Yeah.
If they do put him in the suit, do you think that it'll take away hype from our next Wolverine getting in a suit and trying to introduce him?
Not necessarily.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Because it's a Deadpool movie.
He's going to have a different suit, too.
Again, I don't know. When you go into a Deadpool movie, I feel like coming out of the Deadpool movie, everything that happened in the Deadpool, it's like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
What happens in Deadpool stays in Deadpool unless Marvel decides to pull something from it. So I'm not going to be, if they decide not to give the new Wolverine a suit or whatever, I'm not going to worry about it because I'll know. We all will know that they will have at least had him wear the suit in Deadpool 3 as a joke at the very least.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I whatever.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
That's just how it is. All right, guys. Well then, as much as I could gush about Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, we do have to move on.
Those are our top 10 stories of this month of September.
Of this mother friggin' September, I thought you were going to say.
No. Mother friggin'. Well,